All right. Just checking to make sure everything is good. Is it not live yet? I believe it's live. There we go. All right. Let's get started. I don't have a ton of time today. I do want to do Puzzle Rush Survival every day if I can. So this is a mate because the king is holding the king back. The rook can block, but it's not enough. We have the same thing. This idea of king holding everything together, and then the rook just mates. Here we just have straight up a back row mate. Because of this pawn, we have a back row mate. Another back row mate. Yes, they can block a few times, but that's okay. All right, this one's a little more interesting. We have the weakness of the f2 pawn that we can see. The two pieces are covering it. The queen can come in, and we have the same idea here, just sort of on the other side. All right, so this is the first sort of interesting puzzle, but it's still a back row mate. We can force the king back. When the king goes back, the pawn's actually controlling everything, and we deliver mate. Bishop slicing through and cutting everything off, so let's just do the mate. Queen here does not work. Okay, so this is the first one where I'm like, maybe I have to think, although there's just a piece hanging, so let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's just, well, no, because then our piece is not hanging. So yeah, it's just a hanging piece. Okay, so the bishop is slicing through, cutting off all the escape squares. So all we have to do is check, which means we can sack a piece, check, takes, queen comes in and finishes off the mate. I feel like either way would have actually worked. Let's see. This does not look good, right? It's being backed up. This looks reasonable, but can't actually reach there. So I think we actually have this mate. The check, drive the king back, and then back row mate. I call them the chess.com mates. Okay, the exact same pattern. Drive the king back, and then back row. And now it's a little more interesting. But I think we could take here, and then if they take, we win a piece. If we take here and they go here, we're removing the defender. So this knight is critical. We're removing the knight, and then we're winning. Hey, what up? I got 34 earlier, so you have to beat that. Okay, all right, we've got our goal. Hey, what up is the current champion at 34. Nice, that's a good number. Check here is met by several things. And the rook is covering here. And the king doesn't have a lot of escape squares. So I feel like it's check. King goes here. Queen comes in for the mate. The king can still escape, but then it's going to be a mate. So we're going to get the mate this way. All right. We're very... Yeah, okay. So at first I was thinking if we could chase the king away, the defender would be gone, we would win the piece. So let's go here. But then I was like, the king can just defend. But we can go here, check, win the piece. But there is one more issue. What if the king goes back here? Yeah, that actually is tough. Because if we go here to attack the piece again, well, guess what? It's not pinned. It can just move. And in fact, it could just take us. So how does that... No, wait, no. It is pinned. It is pinned to the king. They can back it up that way, though. Wow. They do that. Oh my goodness. This is actually a little bit complicated. So maybe my idea is wrong. Maybe there's another idea in the position. I feel like this has to be it. Here, here, here. But then this. Does that really hold it all together? Maybe we're pretty close to mate here, actually. So here, here. No, no mate. I don't know. I don't see how this doesn't work. I mean, I don't see how it does work, is what I mean to say. So this just feels so obviously the right answer. And then here, and this really saves the day. Takes. I mean, I guess then we do have a pawn up, but their king is pretty well placed. I don't think we get in. I think that's a draw. If I try to take with the bishop first and the king over, I don't have anything. If I attack the bishop first, that's okay. If I do that, but then they just move the bishop, and in fact take my bishop. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I think it works. Well, it definitely works if they go this way. I just couldn't figure out how to make it work the other way. Let's take a look, because I'm quite curious actually. How does that actually work? Okay, so the move they made was here. If here, this feels like the clever move. Why is the analysis? The engine's not working. Okay, there we go. Right, I thought here. Wait, no. Here, then here, and this is where I got stuck. And the engine says that this is a... Oh, this is why it's a win. Zugzwang? Is that what it is? Black actually doesn't want to move a piece. Seems like they could move there, though. And then if they go there, then we take here and win this pawn. Wow, okay. So it's actually a lot more complicated. So this is kind of a bad puzzle, right? So the puzzle is asking you to see this idea to win this piece. And you're like, yay, I saw it. But if you're actually better, you realize it doesn't work because they can go here. And then when you go here, they go here and they hold it all together. And then you have to see this quiet move, which turns this puzzle from, what was its rating? 900 to like 2,500. So very weird. It's this is the problem sometimes with chess.com puzzles. They're just not good. I don't know a better way to say it than that. Daniel, how are you doing? Happy 4th of July. And hey, what up? Totally agree. This is very hard for a 15th. Very hard. I don't know why you don't have your crown for being the top fan today. I don't know. Okay. All right. Let's move on, though. So we've got our new puzzle. Black to move. I mean, this allows for the discover check, which actually leads to mate, right? That's what I missed at first. So G takes F3, king moves, the pawn is holding everything together, queen goes into G2 for the mate. Is there something else they could do? No, there's not. There's that, but we don't care about that. We will take all the pieces they will offer us on the way to mate. Okay. I think this is mate as well. It's like queen here to F2. The king has to move over, and then we have this cool move. Right, we can't come straight ahead because the queen covers it, but we get to mate on E1. Boom, and we get the queen in the process. Okay. The position, the pattern I assumed we were going to do was rook H1, king moves up, rook G2, rook G1, of course. But it doesn't work. The king actually gets to come out. So, but I guess what the pattern really is winning the rook, right? It's like here, the same thing. And then when it moves over, the rook falls at the end. So I thought we were going for a mate, but in fact we're just winning a rook, which is fine. I'm immediately drawn to this idea of G4. Do we get mate? We don't immediately, but the king is holding onto all these squares. So the king is completely guarding the back row. So when the king goes here, any check is mate. The problem is any move of the rook loosens that square. E5 then becomes available. So I'm not quite sure what we're supposed to do. So check, king up, Oh, I guess we go here. Still covering the square and getting the mate. Okay. Now we're going to have a discovery. If the discovery can knock the king away from the defense, then we'll win a rook. But, like, let's say I go here. The king can go here. No, that does not work. But the king could go here. Still defending. We don't win it. So can we move this knight in such a way where we discover and do something even more? We could go here. We get a pawn. But they could just go there, and then all we got is a pawn. That doesn't look that great. Same thing here. We could win this pawn. That's also not very good. Like, I guess what I'm failing to keep in mind is they could just take there. So the discovery has to involve a check if we think we're doing something amazing. So let's say we go here, and they move the king to f7 to guard the rooks. We could go here, check. That doesn't get us much. But what about this check? Here, and then do we have like a fork or something? We do. We have this fork. But okay, I think I figured it out. I think it's here, check. The king goes back. We recognize that this square is a good forking square. So let's just take here, take here, take here, lure the king to the forking square, then we fork the two pieces. Pretty complicated, but I think we got it. Wow, this again seems very hard for an 1174 puzzle. My goodness. Rook hangs at the end. Yeah, there were a lot of lines there that I was really doing a bad job with the rook hanging. It took me a bit to kind of put all that together, but it looks like Daniel found it. But you would agree, Daniel, right? That seems like a pretty complicated puzzle for 1200. That's kind of surprising. Okay, one thing that we need to keep in mind here through all our lines is this is checkmate, right? The king can't get anywhere. So we need to like not throw all the rooks away and think we have won one rook and then get mated at the end. What I am looking at is this stuff, probably with this first. I think this is going to lead to mate. So check, only choice is here, check, they get to take, and then we at the end we take with our rook. And it's not mate yet because of the bishop, but it will be mate. Actually, yeah, I guess it's important to note that if we hadn't had as much material, we wouldn't have had. I thought that was going to end in mate, so I actually messed that one up. All right, Daniel says, yeah, toughish set of puzzles so far. Yeah, and some have been incredibly easy, right? It's very weird. Okay, this looks like something, right? So we are getting the discovered attack on the rook. If they go here with the bishop, we could just take. Is there somewhere amazing this knight can go? I don't think so. I think this is just a move. Okay. And we win a knight. So that one was really easy. So I don't know. Whatever. Most forcing moves have been the right ones. Yeah, Daniel, I think you're right. I think that's how a lot of times these get solved. Like that one that was incredibly hard. It wasn't hard if you didn't see all the moves, right? So it's an easy solve for someone at a lower level. So these puzzles can be interesting. Okay, I'm looking at a couple things here. So these are the themes we're looking at because most of the other pieces are unavailable to be used. So how do we take these different possibilities and put them together and make them work? This feels like something you might see in a game, right? There's a whole bunch of stuff touching, doing stuff, and the mind gets overwhelmed as it looks through each of them. So let's try to be methodical here. Let's look first at this check. I don't think they want to give up the rook, so they will probably take. If they take, and let's say we take with the bishop, we don't want to take with the queen. Have we done anything more than trade? I don't think so. Well, yeah. Okay, if they take here and we take, the rook is hanging. but they could block with this knight at the end. So I don't think that works. I think we want this as our trump card at the end. We want to pull the queen away from the defense of this piece. If we go like here, here. One other thing though. After this, do we now go queen a5 check? I don't think so. I think they just defend with the knight and they don't really care. What else? Queen a5 now, or sorry, queen a4 now. Threatening this looks kind of strong. What would they do? Maybe they would just go here. And then what I also didn't notice is that this is being defended twice. So it doesn't seem to work great. Takes. The problem is they can take either. Or no, they can't take with the queen. That's important to note. If they take with the queen, then we get to this lovely fork. So they're going to have to take with the bishop. Ah, this is the answer. Then we take with the queen. And then when they take with the queen, then we come here and get the royal fork. So we end up getting 2 pieces to 1. So I thought the final answer was going to be forking on this rook. And it kind of blinded me to the fact that this is another forking square combo. So we can lure the queen here and then nab her. So we go here. They do this check that I was not expecting even a little. But they are down a piece in that process. So we can go back here, defend it again. What if they go here? Then we go here. Okay. Yeah, so we go there, here, and here. Okay. Take, fork. Yeah, but did you see that they were going to check? I didn't see that one. That part surprised me for sure. There we go. This is a weird little pattern. Queen check seems to be the most forcing. The knight is cutting off a lot. If they were to try to just run, then we would come in here. Could go here, which is intriguing. The queen is there. But I think what they're going to do instead is this little pattern. Takes, and then you win there. This is just, we don't even have to see every move here. We just know that if they start a king walk here, they lose. Like that would be devastating. There's no way they'd get away with that. Okay, so we have every piece around their king. The knight is cutting off everything. The rook is cutting off everything. So can't this knight just go here for checkmate? This is a very common pattern of these like knight-rook combos. Often you'll see it in the corner. But the knight is doing a lot of work there. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. How do I do that like this? Okay. Just kind of mess with the wife, and we can move on. Okay, yeah. That was the hard part. I don't even know if it was good, and that might be why we didn't see it, because it was just kind of not needed to see. So if they go here, sorry, if I go here and check, there's only one move, king g7. How do I finish it off? I don't see a nice finisher. And if I go queen e8, the same problem comes in, but this way we do win a queen. Is that enough? Can we just win a queen here? Yeah, I think winning a queen here looks good. Let's just win a queen. Sure. Okay. We're gonna go... Okay. The king can get away like this. So I have to sort of keep that in mind. But that's the escape square. The king can't go that way. This pawn is cutting it off. So how do I want to try this? If I go like here, I think the king just comes out d5. I can check here because of the pawn. But then the king just goes d4. Now my rook is cut off by its own pawn. It could come across this way, though. And that actually looks like mate. So let's check one more time. Check. Here. 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 No, not there. It was check. Here. 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 That is mate. But what about here? Here. Yeah, so this works. Feels like it shouldn't work, but it does. The pawns were in just the right spots to make it work out. I'm very tempted to do something like this, and this is just mate. So if I go king g3, is there anything they can do? There is not. That's just going to be mate. They can block that way, but that's not effective. Okay. This is begging to be played, this nice check, but it's guarded. And then the follow-up of this check, would that, let's say they don't take. Here, check, check, there, check, there, check, here, no, this. Without that, I was thinking we could go here. And then pulling the queen off of that square. Let's say they did something else and went like here, and we took and they took. Let me still off. I think that's the right answer. I would just want to make it work a little bit more before going pure intuition and saying this has to be right. So check here, check here. Now where's the queen going? Queen here to f3. King has to go over there. If I go here, comes out this way. Check there. Okay, this works. I can't quite put it all together. But yeah, we're still going to go here. Pull the queen off of that square. And there you go. That's it. The most forcing move being correct, I think the way a lot of people engage with chess puzzles is just to throw out a check so that the puzzles were the correct. Yeah, I agree. I think that is exactly what happens. I try very hard not to do that. But it's where you want to start, right? It's a good starting place. Let's check and see if the check works. All right. I like to move. Everything looks random. So let's try to make it less random. So we're cutting off the top rank. We're cutting off this rank. So currently the king has 3 escape squares. Okay. This knight looks very random. So if I go here, check. They only have one of these squares, right? Well, they have more now because all of this is available. But if they go up, then that just gives us more opportunities for discovery. So let's just assume they don't. We'll say they go there. Okay, that one, maybe that works fine, right? Because the bishop's covering it. I feel like to have a knight just randomly thrown in this position means that it's probably forking somewhere. Or even down a piece. Wow, okay. I didn't expect that we were down a piece. I thought we were even. Having a hard time with this one. Okay, if that rook wasn't there on a2, the knight would be hanging. That's nice. I am seeing something interesting, that if we move our king up, the escape squares for their king go down dramatically, but they could just check there. So I think we need to look at knight moves. I think our rooks are already... wait, no. This knight is holding down that pawn, so I think the answer is actually rook takes. Now we've really dramatically cut down on their squares. They only have these 2. Um, if there, king g5. Man, our pieces are just so oddly placed. I want to go something like here to check. Oh. Well, no. Then the king can go there. Well, if I go here, this is mate, but I guess we saw also that can happen. So, I'm not seeing this fully, but I think this check is very strong. Even if I were playing a game and I couldn't quite calculate it all the way, I think I'd be pretty happy. And now I'm seeing this is leading to only this square, and then this is mate. So, yeah, I just needed to get one step closer. It wasn't actually mate. Okay, that's a little embarrassing. And even this check isn't mate, because he can go there then. But then this is finally mate. Nope, we're not there. Okay, I need to refocus. Okay, so check there. Yes, so this works. We go here, and if they take there, we're fine with that. Yes, we still would take there. Okay, that one was a little bit challenging. Fried Foxy is here. What is up, my friend? How many misses so far? 0. 31 right is 0 misses. Okay, white to move. We are going up, even though their king is on the bottom. Okay, so if I go here, I'm threatening mate. But, of course, they can go here, and then actually they start chasing me all over, because I can't, like, hide behind that pawn. If I go here, I am allowing this king to come out any way it wants. And that does not seem good. This is a hard one. This, in fact, looks very drawish to me. Like, if I saw this as an endgame and just, like, glance at someone's board, I'd be like, wow, that is one drawn-looking rook endgame. If anyone has a chance, it is black. Ah, okay. Well, I guess there's one nice thing. If we go here and they check, we do get the pawn. And then we can, like, come down this way and maybe have some chances with this pawn, because now their king is so far out of play, it's hard to do the Philidor position. So I think this works because of that reason. But that's true. They could just move the king over. But then this is very strong. Because, again, same reason. Once we get that pawn, we're actually in good shape. Tried survival today for the first time. 50 exactly. Okay. Well, yep, we have a new record for the day. So, Hey What Up has 34. Fried Foxy has 50. I'm at 32. Let's see if I can take today's record. Okay. First look. The box. Where's the box? The box is like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So this is the box. The king's not in the box. So we are currently not capturable by the king. If we were to go here, the king would get in the box. So we're going to push, knowing that we're actually just a hair fast enough. Okay. Lots of interesting stuff here. This looks kind of like a Morphe game or something. Like, we are really all over them. I want to look at this check first. If they were to take, we've got this discovery. We could just simply go here and win their queen, which would be very strong. I wonder if there's more. Also, what if they don't take? What if they go here? We win their queen. What if they go here? We go here and do very well. What if they go there and just escape to f8? Then that's a little less clear now. So that still seems very likely to be the answer. I think another possibility is to go queen h5, threatening the immediate mate. If they try to push us back with the pawn, yeah, this is covered a lot, so we can't just take. I think the answer is to go here, and then if they try to hide, well, their game is just wrecked anyway. So I think that's fine. All right, and then if they do that, we've got possibilities, but I think the best one is to just win the queen. Okay, there we go. You can try one now and multitask. Yeah, let's do it, Daniel. Get yours in. Let's see who's the champion of the day. This is mate, right? Check. Rook takes. Back row mate. Looks right. Okay, 35. Here we go. This is what we were talking about before with this rook knight combo, but it's not quite right because the knight is in the wrong spot to be able to make it mate. So if we go here, they go there, then what? So maybe we put him in the right spot and we just go here, then there, then that is mate. Yeah, so we just move the knight to the right spot for this knight rook corner mate. I forget what it's called. Oh well. About check, takes, check. Looks like they probably get out of that one. I don't think we're about to be mated either, which is nice. This just looks slow. Although that's mate. Like if we go here, and then they don't take, and then we go here, it's check, and they say back up. I don't know. For some reason, I want something more immediate here. What, queen takes h4? It looks like it doesn't quite work. Rook takes h4 is what I looked at. Let's look at it again. Takes there, 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 there. I think... I mean, it'll get very close with this. The question is, do they, if we move this rook, do they then have opportunities to harass us for at least a perpetual? Looks like probably, but I'm really not seeing anything else. I think this at least gets us a draw. Okay, well, I didn't see it clearly, so that makes sense that I didn't get it. One miss. Ooh. Okay. What about takes, threatening mate, and there's really no way to stop. Oh, is there actually? Here. But then we get the piece. Oh, we're down an exchange. Okay, so if we go here, and they push by, and we take, and they take. Maybe that's not that good. I'll come back to that. I think that's the answer, but I want to come back to it. Yeah, I'm not really seeing any other way to get in. So I think this is it. Okay, just simply that. We don't want to go here. It gives up everything. If we go here, and they block, still doesn't really work. So how do we get this pawn across the finish line? So check. If they go here, then we can just push here and we would win. What about this? Then we're out. Okay, so I think this works. Ah, okay. I wasn't actually looking at what if they did that. I still think we push. They go check, we walk out, and then we say we're fine. There you go. Arabic mate. Right. Oh, no. Arabian mate. Exactly. All right. Daniel's at 20 so far? Jeez. Wow. Okay. Check, takes, pin is the theme I'm looking at. Then check, comes back. That pin looks very irrelevant. So now I want to look at another theme. Queen h4 threatening this mate. Trying to save by pushing the pawn. Then we push the pawn, and then there's no way out. Right? Yeah. Wait, any checks over here that are devastating? No. Okay. So we're going to go here. The check that we already checked is not devastating. We're going here. Okay. And we're fine. Alrighty. 2 passed pawns. That has to be enough, right? I mean, they also have real threats, though. I'm looking at this idea. The bishop has to move somewhere. If it goes here, we're going to go there. And if this pawn tries to run, we're going to be able to come back in time to catch it. It's a tough one, though. I think this is right, though. Okay. But now coming back to catch the pawn is going to be hard. Can we race it? No. Because if we go here, 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 they take, we take, here, they just barely get there. So maybe now I have to bring the king in. So we're just in time. Or do I simply just push this pawn? And here, here. Yeah, I think we can push this pawn, actually. If here... Yes, this works. Okay, that was kind of close. I think I wasn't quite as precise as I should have been. This looks very promising. They can go here, but then we would go there, and we would win that rook straight up. Okay, I guess it's not straight up. Oh, wow. What a tough mate this is going to be, even if we get there. So I don't think we want to do that. I think what we want to do is check. Here. Check. Nope, not check there. Check. All these squares work. Yeah, we're going to go here. And then when they go there, what now? This does nothing. Wait, take here, here, here. Okay, we still got to win with a bishop knight mate, and we have to get 2 of their pawns. That is not a good puzzle. That's like, well, good luck. You're probably still dead. But, hey, we say you solved the puzzle. Okay, well, this is a lot. We need to deal with that. And we really only have 2 ways to deal with it. So, one's right, one's wrong. First, let's look at material. It is even. Do we have some great attack? Not really. So I'm not really sure what we're supposed to do here, even once we repel this attack. That would help us a lot if we knew that, right? Because then we can know where to put our pieces. So, king goes here. What happens? There are 2 checking opportunities. And then I guess I move over. And then they take here. I mean, they could already take there. If I'm going here, that check does not work. This does not work. So this, on its face, looks better. But I don't know what I'm doing is the problem. So I'm going to do this, and this might be wrong because I can't find what I'm actually trying to do with this position. Okay. I mean, this is where my instinct goes, but they do have that check. They are threatening to take there. They are threatening really not much else. I don't know. I don't know what to do here. We survived the mating thing, and now what? Now is check, moves over, check, takes, wins in exchange. Or they give us the queen. Sounds good. Actually, yeah, I think we had a mate at the end of that. Alright, well that worked out well. This seems like the obvious move to at least look at. It's a double check. They can only go there. We do have to watch out that our queen is hanging. So we can't just pick up that exchange. We could also double check from this spot, weakening their structure a bit more. None of them look... They all look good, but none of them look devastating. Like, where's the queen following up? So check here. Queen is hanging. If I go here, check. That doesn't fix it. If I take and they take, that does not help. When the king is here, I can't harass it because the knight is in the way. Wait, are we up material actually? No. Because I thought maybe the point was just have to save everything. There. I don't see this one. I do not see the answer. I think it has to be the double check because we're actually having two pieces under attack. But the problem is there are two viable squares for this double check, and I can't find the follow-up for either. Oh, I see something. If we go here, we could follow up there, threatening the queen, but that doesn't get us very much. Okay, like it's decision time. I don't know the answer, so which one do I want to go? That one looks intuitively better, because at least we're hitting the rook. And then maybe we just move... Nope, that doesn't work. I was going to say queen a4. Yeah, where are we putting the queen? Put the queen there. And they take our knight. Boy, I don't know. I don't see the answer. I'm going to go with this one. Okay, cool. Oh, okay. Actually, this makes a lot of sense. Now I see it, right? Because now I have the follow-up check, and then I can save the queen. I don't know how I didn't see that when we were one more step back. That's really frustrating. Finishing the stream with a viewer game today? No, I can't. Unfortunately, I am needed by the family. Probably already, we'll just say. But so as soon as I'm done with my Puzzle Rush, I'm going to have to go. We're at 43, though. This is the best I've been doing in a while. Although the last one was pretty luck-oriented. Here... What are we looking at? We're down a piece. So just winning that bishop even isn't that great. This check looks quite promising. There's just not many squares the king can go. It's just there. And then here we pick up the piece. They have to just come back. We come back. Then we check this way. Yeah, this definitely is it. Okay. I'm looking at rook takes h2. That's just where my brain is drawn to. Then we have this follow-up. Then the king goes back. Then here. Then here. Then what? This knight. Where's the knight getting involved? Maybe it's actually this. Check. Here. Check. But what are we doing after that? I really like rook takes. So rook takes, queen g3 check, king h1. Then, is that it? So it's takes, here, king back, check, here, comes back, here, No. It's because I want to go here for the mate. Check. There. 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 And then if he goes there, though, that doesn't actually work. What about here immediately? There. No, okay. I think this works. Oh, I couldn't quite put it all together, and I should have gone one more round of calculating. That's annoying. I'm definitely feeling in a little bit of a hurry. Check with the bishop. Takes with the pawn. Queen takes on e6 check. Is that enough? If the queen blocks and we check and the queen blocks, then we take and they take and then it's not enough. Also, they do have a rook hanging somehow in this position. That's a little weird. Okay. So, hanging check is probably going to lead to mate. They have a lot happening on us as well. But I'm looking at... I guess my biggest question is if I take here and they just move over, then what? Then what are we doing? Okay, let's just look at the most forcing move. We take... They go check. We go only move. They check here with the queen. We go only move. I'm not seeing the mate, but I think there just has to be a mate. 4 pieces on our king. There's no way that's not leading to mate. I think I'm going to play bishop takes e6 without having viable follow-up. It just seems like such a ridiculous plan. I just don't see another thing that could even be possible. And we are about to get mated, so we're doing it. Okay. That is what I was worried about. But I was looking at this as a potential follow-up. The problem is if they just kind of like ignore it and go check here, trade here, and we just trade everything. I don't think that works for me. Maybe now I can take. Check here. No, that lots of bad stuff happens. All right, I'm gonna try. Oh, that doesn't work actually. I was gonna try to force that trade, but they could just put the bishop there, and then there is no trade. So how do we go from here? This is where I was stuck. Almost feels like it has to be take. Like there's no other way around it. I just don't see how we survive. Yeah, I think maybe we survive. Oh, if they take that way, that's a huge problem. Now we do this. And we force the queen trade and we win. Okay. Black to move. We're going upward. We have to hold on to that pawn at all costs or we lose. If we go take 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 5 moves. 1, 2, 3. We could sack there. 4, 5, 6. I think we are fine if we do this. And if they go there, we sack there and still win. Okay. Yeah, we win this race still. Barely. But the question is where to put the bishop. I could go anywhere on this diagonal. Anywhere. I could even go all the way up here. What if I went here? So I'd never have to sack it. And then it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. We're queening here. Oh, I can't even see how it matters where on the diagonal this is. I'm sure it matters a lot. I'm going to go here. That's so frustrating. Okay. Well, that one feels like I got it right, but then got it wrong. So let's see what the right answer was. I definitely figured it all out. And then, I don't know. Where? Just push. No, I knew that part. Then this was the spot. Ah, the answer is just ignore it. And then you'll win that way. Okay, but what if we hadn't done that? What was it, like this? So let's say I go here. They go here. No, that's not what they did. They went here. I don't remember what they did in the puzzle. That's annoying. Okay, fine. What happened in the puzzle? It was there, here, went down, pushed, then went there. Okay. So there, went down there, I pushed, then they went there. And now the claim is that this does not work. Looks to me like it works. I guess it is not, right? Okay. Well, there you go. I did not get it right. All right. Let's look at the second to last one I got wrong. Right. This is where I tried so hard to force that to work. It did not work. And what does work is this. Arg. Okay. A little bit more thought. I think I would have found it. 45 is not bad, especially when I'm feeling a little bit pressured here. Impressive. You got to 47 for a mistake, then flubbed a lot of puzzle in the end. Yeah. Ooh, you're at 49. None wrong. Wow. Good job, Daniel. So here's what we're going to do. I have to leave, but make sure you save that number for us for next time. I'm very curious to see how far you get. All right. I'll see y'all next time, everybody.